Alternative fuels. I'm going to tell you a lot about alternative fuels today. And there's a big reason why. We use fuels every day, especially petroleum fuels. We drive to work, we drive to school, we drive to the store. We use gasoline all the time, and we are heavily dependent upon it. And we need to change that to better our lives and our world. So what is an alternative fuel? An alternative fuel is anything other than a conventional fuel. Basically, anything other than gasoline or petroleum-based fuel. What types of alternative fuels are there? Well, on the U.S. Department of Energy website, they give you tons and tons of information on different types of fuels there are. One of them is biodiesel. It's a renewable fuel that can be made from vegetable oils, animal fats, recycling, cooking grease, or for diesel engines. There's also hydrogen. It is a potentially emissions-free fuel that can be made from domestic resources to be used in fuel cell vehicles. There's also electricity, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with. It powers our home, anything that, lights, things of that nature. And it's also, as far as being an alternative fuel for vehicles, they're also having like electric cars or hybrid cars, which hybrid cars are cars that have electric or a battery type cell and gasoline mix so that you don't use as much gasoline. And then there's natural gas. It's an abundant gaseous fuel that can have advantages over gasoline and diesel fuel. And a lot of homes use natural gas. Natural gas is just about everywhere anymore. There's also ethanol. It's a renewable fuel made from corn and other plant materials. It's blended in gasoline to use in vehicles. You'll see a lot of times at many gas stations where they'll have E85, and that's an ethanol and gasoline mixture. And you'll probably see more and more of it at almost every gas station anymore. And then there's also propane, which I'm sure most of you might think of when you think of grilling out. Well, propane is a gaseous fuel that has been used in vehicles in the world for decades. We don't see it used in vehicles today that we drive in the city or whatnot, but I know for me at my work, I use a forklift all the time, and we use propane all the time. Quite easy to use, has a little bit of an odor, but nothing unbearable. Now there is a future of alternative fuels, and here are some of them that are in the works right now. We have bioethanol, which is similar to ethanol. There's drop-in biofuels, which is similar to gasoline or diesel. And then there's methanol, a wood alcohol. And then there's P-series fuels, blends of natural gas liquids. And then there's renewable natural gas. It's like biogas, which is like swamp, landfill, or digester gas. And then there's also XTL fuels, which is made through a process called Fischer-Tropsch, which has or makes synthetic liquid transportation fuels. Now there's a reason that we are currently every day looking for better fuels instead of using petroleum. So why are alternative fuels important? Because number one, petroleum is going to be running out if we keep using it consistently the way we do. Especially if we just keep depending on it all the time and not looking for other fuels. And it's also because of the depletion of traditional energy sources, alternative fuels are becoming increasingly important today. We want other options. We don't want to be held to one only fuel source. We want to be able to know that if this one doesn't pan out too great, there are other options, and you want many options when it comes to having different resources. And also, alternative fuels are better for our world and better for each other, instead of breathing in the fumes from cars, from gasoline emissions. And then there are many alternative fuels that come from plants, come from many different plants. All in all, if you go to places like U.S. Department of Energy on the web, or a place called the Internet Web Quest on alternative fuel, or the best alternative fuel resources on the web, you'll find that these websites will give you so many different resources and information on all the different alternative fuels that are out there, and all the things that can be done to help keep the planet better and to help make, help each other get off of the dependency of petroleum.